Hello, everybody. Welcome to El Rincón de Ismacello, a place for you to get to know some of the incredible artists from all around the world. Today, I have the pleasure to have with me an incredible violist, but also someone who loves drawing, and I personally think that she's incredible at it. Please welcome Cecile McNeill.
Hi.
Woo! Thank you so much, Cecile, for being with
My
us.
pleasure.
How are you today?
I'm good. A little sleepy,
A
but
little
good.
sleepy?
Yeah.
Have you had a crazy week?
Yeah. School.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah. So you're at USC, correct?
Yes, I'm a second year master's in viola performance.
Oh, wow. What is it like? How's it been?
It's been really great. I love USC. Love being in LA. You know, it's a big difference from where I'm from, which is New Zealand.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
So you're from New Zealand.
Yep.
Is this your first time in the United States?
Yeah, for USC. So I got here last August and have been here since. Yeah.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, now that you say that you're from New Zealand, that just resonates with me a little bit because, I mean, I'm not from New Zealand, but I am from Cuba, and, just being away from home, it always feels... it's like a mixed feeling, right? Because you get to the opportunity to explore new parts of the world, but you also are away from home, right? What is that like for you? Like, how do you feel being in LA regarding, professional opportunities and, being away from home?
I mean, it's been more exciting to me. Like, I haven't felt particularly homesick, like, not in a bad way, but it's just been so exciting being here. And I lived at home all through my undergrad because I knew I wanted to go overseas. And so, like, moving out of my family home and moving to a different country was, like, really cool. With opportunities, since I'm an international student, I can legally start doing, like, music gigs from this year, but I had to do 1 year of just, like, only on-campus gigs. But even then, it was pretty cool. Like, I got to do, like, a screen scoring thing.
Really? Nice.
So that felt very LA.
Yeah, because USC has, like, a really famous scoring program. And it's not only great for composers, but also for us as musicians to get to network with some of them. And, I don't know, like... how was that experience? What was that experience like for you?
It was a first for me. Most of the gigs that I do have been, like, quartet wedding gigs, like, back at home. Quartet wedding gigs.
Nice.
And, like, at USC, like, USC functions and stuff. But to do, like, a screen scoring thing was really cool because, I don't know, it's like a reminder that music isn't just this insulated bubble, you know? Like, you can do film and stuff.
Yeah, I like that insulated bubble. Yeah. Being in Cuba, it felt for me like I was in the bubble because, I mean, Cuba as a country is quite small. And, once I got here to the United States and having more opportunities to meet other people and, having access to a lot of more resources, it just kind of, things just opened up for me more, and it just felt like I got out of that bubble that was Cuba. But okay, so you said that this was your first time in the United States. You came here a year ago, right? And you were in New Zealand before.
Yep.
Auckland, correct? And so when did you start learning music, and how did you start? I mean, you play viola, which is quite a controversial instrument. Yeah. I wonder, like, did you start on viola or did you start in violin? How does that work?
No, I feel like most violists usually start on violin. Having said that, most of the people in my studio started on viola. But, I mean, for me, my dad's a musician and he plays the violin. And so he got me and my sister started on violin when we were pretty young. So I got my first violin when I was like 3. And then
3? Wow.
Yeah. Well, my dad, like, he would get a cardboard tissue box and a paper towel, and then he would, like, put the paper towel roll in the tissue box so it kind of looked like a violin. And then you hold it up just to get used to holding, like, a little violin shaped thing. But anyway, when I was 12, he had just, like, a bunch of different instruments lying around the house. And so he asked me if I would be interested in trying the viola. And at that point, like, I knew what a viola was, but I didn't really know. So I was like, sure. And I brought it to my lesson, and I don't know, it just clicked. It clicked.
Why did he? So you said that he asked you if you wanted to try the viola.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, we just had it lying around, and I was like 12. It just felt like if there was a point where I would want to, like, because getting proficient enough on the violin makes it easier to kind of translate that transfer that to the viola.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in my first year of high school, and there's always a shortage of violists, so yeah.
Nice. Always trying to fill in those spots.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So you said that there was a viola lying around your house.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that you come from a family of musicians or like family of artists, or why was there a viola laying around?
Well, my dad plays a bunch of instruments. He plays piano, violin, cello, double bass, organ.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, he comes from a very musical family. So yeah, it's my dad's side of the family that's very musical. And so yeah, there was a lot of music growing up, and so it didn't really feel like a major thing when he was like, "Oh, do you want to play viola? Do you want to like try it out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." It's like not a big thing.
Easy. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. So in terms of, so now we know that your dad had a musical background. You, of course, you have a musical background. What about everybody else in the family? Like, are you only the only two people in the entire family who are connected to music and arts in general, or?
I have an older sister who plays violin, and she's studying in Germany.
What part of Germany?
Like northern Germany. She's in a place called Braunschweig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, my dad's side of the family are like pretty musical. I mean, they're not musicians by trade, but my grandmother was like very big on like choral singing, and so she got all her kids to take music lessons and stuff growing up, and so my dad was kind of like the only one who did it professionally. He's a music teacher, so yeah.
Wow, music teacher. Does he still teach?
Yeah, he still teaches.
Oh,
yeah.
But I imagine like he teaches like general music education, right? Or
he does that, and also like private teaching.
okay,
Yeah.
like all the instruments that he plays, or
yeah, honestly,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, sign me up for everything.
yeah, and he like runs a little like kids orchestra.
Really,
Yeah.
that's so cute. Wow, amazing. So you started getting serious on the viola, or I guess like you started trying it out at 12. And yeah, I'm just wondering what is the comparison between the education in New Zealand, or like, like how do you feel as a violist in New Zealand compared to being here in LA? Is the level different? Is the surroundings, have you grown a lot in terms of like your musicianship since the last time you went home, or you were home? I don't know, just tell me a bit about the experience being a violist in New Zealand compared to being a violist here in LA.
Yeah. Well, for context, the population of New Zealand is like 5 million.
Okay.
And I think LA County is like, 10 million? So like already just within LA, double
Wow.
the population. And so I think during my time at undergrad, there was maybe like 3 violists. At one point, I might have been like the only full-time. Me and someone else, maybe the only full-time viola majors.
Yeah, that's right, because you were saying like one of the reasons you started was because there was not enough violists.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Well, yeah, so there's only kind of 3 music schools, like tertiary level music schools in New Zealand, and they're all like linked with a university, so there's no conservatories. And there's like a really passionate group of musicians, but it's very small. Like growing up in New Zealand, you get to know everyone else who does music like really quickly, and so for me at times that felt a little suffocating, because let's say you have a bad performance or something, that's when you're younger, and that's like the impression that someone has for like a really long time.
Oh, wow.
That's what it kind of felt like. But yeah, like a really passionate community. But as soon as I got here, it was like a huge shift. Huge shift in like, I mean, first of all, like there were like 7 other people in my studio, which I found out is like not that big of a studio, but for me it was like that's a massive studio. And everyone was just so good. Like it seemed like everywhere I turned, people were playing at like extremely high levels. And I remember I was helping out with the audition days at USC and seeing like the little like 17-year-olds come in to audition for undergrad, and I was listening outside of like McDonald Hall at USC, and they were playing like Paganini and like Sibelius Concerto, and it sounded so good, and I was like, what, this is like insane. So just coming into a environment where everyone seemed so good, that in itself was like a huge motivator for me. And also like my incredible teacher and the professors and everything, very like high level, world class performing musicians. So it does feel like I made a really big jump in terms of my playing level, and like just as a person I feel like more confident here, because people, I don't know if you noticed, but like for me I feel like Americans are very like, well, everyone knows this, like very like confident, very like
I feel
outgoing.
you. I feel you.
And that's like the opposite in New Zealand, where people are a little bit more reserved. And you kind of, at least for me, it felt like you don't really toot your own trumpet, you know? You don't. It feels more acceptable to be like proud of your achievements and to take ownership of that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I guess it's hard because there's a lot of comparison here, especially depending on the school that you are. You're always forced to being compared to like someone else, and you know, not everybody goes on the same pace. Not everybody progresses the same with the same speed, and that's totally okay. But I do feel you that there is a certain pressure here of, you know, meeting certain standards, and yeah, I mean, with me, it was weird because I came here thinking that I was pretty good. I came here came to the United States thinking that I was pretty good. But then, you know, since the first lesson with my former teacher, Ami Pellet and Peabody, I started like my level of confidence just kept going down, and I'm like, wait, I'm definitely not as good as I thought I was, you know. So, you know, but at the same time, it's good because that pushes you to be better. And I feel, at least for me, I don't know how you feel, but at least for me, I'd rather be in a room where I'm not the best, but than being in a room that I'm at the absolutely best. I mean, I would love to be in a room where I'm not the worst, but also not the best. Just being kind of like in the middle, just, you know, taking from what I should do and like what I should not do. You know, you can always learn from both sides, whether the people better than you and the people worse than you. And at the end, you know, it's all a community, and you know, even there's comparison. It's always good to remind yourself that, you know, your only competition should be yourself, right? Because as long as you are better than what you were yesterday, like today, as long as today you're better than what you were yesterday, you're making progress. And steady progress always wins the race. Like, it doesn't matter. You will see there's a lot of prodigy kids, you know, that they were insane when they were 10 years old, but now you don't really hear about them, right? Because they just got to that level like incredibly fast, but they just stay there, you know. And I feel like, you know, maybe you don't get to that level pretty fast, but if you can slowly increase the level and, you know, hard work and really commit to the journey, I think, you know, everything that you wish for could come your way. So yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your hobbies, right? I feel like we've been talking about music for a long time, but I just want to know a little bit about your hobbies. Let's say, like, do you practice any sports? Do you I don't know.
I have in the past as a kid. Nowadays, not so much. I don't know. doesn't sound very interesting. I guess my hobbies are like just drawing, reading,
Drawing.
hanging out with friends,
Okay.
walking.
Walking. You
Yeah.
like going on long walks?
Well,
Hikes? How
I
about
mean, I
hikes?
walk to school, so that
Okay.
I don't know if that counts as a hobby or like a form of transport.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's a nice chance to.
Okay, let's put it
think.
this way. Let's say you're trying to get to a place that is 5 minutes by car, 30 minutes by walk. Do you walk or do you drive or take an Uber?
I walk. I mean, not
Even
just
if
because I can't.
let's say you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to pay for gas, you don't have to pay for anything. You have this choice, the free choice of going by car or going by walk. Do you walk
I
or
mean,
do you
it
go?
also depends on where it is. If it's
Okay.
like somewhere like Sketch, then
Okay.
like car.
That's pretty fair.
But I mean, I walk. That's like 25, 30 minutes.
Mhm. How many
each way,
steps
just go.
steps do you average daily? Do you know?
It's not that much. Like I try to get 6,000.
Okay,
But,
6,000.
yeah, I think that's like the
That's like the bare
American.
minimum.
Yeah, that's like the American.
The American standard
health
for.
for lightly active. You
I
know.
see.
So.
I see.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I mean I would love to walk more, but you know, being a musician and doing a lot of work, not only being a musician but also being a cellist myself, and doing a lot of work on the computer, and you know, eating. I feel like I spend 23.9 hours. You know, like I just feel like I just spend like 23 hours out of my day just sitting down
Yeah.
or sleeping. It's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to play pickleball. I've been trying to jump rope and just to get active because, especially in LA, because LA is just a hard city to get around. You know, if you're in the USC area or downtown area, it's okay to walk, but then anything else, you just have to go by car because everything is just so spread out and not always the safest.
Yeah, that's super annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, So okay, you said that drawing is one of your hobbies.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Or tell us about that.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I told you about how I come from a musical family.
Mhm.
I guess drawing is something that felt like, oh, I actually decided to pick this for
When?
myself.
When did you start?
I mean, really far back. I guess like 3. Like what time do
you
kids?
started with music. You just started like exploring all kinds of art and you see.
Well, it's not like I started. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, it's January 1st. I'm gonna start drawing. No,
Okay.
it was
I guess
just-
everybody draws.
Yeah,
when
I mean,
they're-
it's
yeah.
like drawing how like everyone like no like kids like doodle and stuff. I just
That's
never stopped.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so yeah, I never like took art classes in high school or
Mhm.
anything. It was just something I do on the side, and it still is just something I do on the side.
Nice. So when was that moment that you were like, okay, I do this consistently, but I actually enjoy it a lot? Do you have any memories of like a special drawing or anything that you realize that, you know, oh, I can actually do this, and you know, I can keep doing it, and if I keep doing it, maybe I'll get better, or I can express different ideas or different emotions or feelings, you know?
I don't think there was a defining moment. It was
Okay.
just I was always drawing, like in school,
Okay.
in class. Could be math class, could be history or whatever. Just always drawing. And then I'd always like make birthday cards for my friends and like my
Nice.
parents and stuff. And people seem to like it. So I
Okay.
guess that's like I was like, oh, people like my stuff.
Nice. Do you put yourself out there to draw for people, or do people come to you secretly?
No, I don't really put myself out there. I
Okay.
mean, for close friends and like family,
Mhm.
I mean, with the birthday cards
Mm-hmm.
or gifts, that's what I'll do for them. I'll give them a card and they'll be like, oh, maybe can you draw me this next time, or can you do this for me? But yeah, no, if people ask me like, what do you do for fun? Maybe I'll be like, oh, I draw. And they're like, oh, can I see your stuff? And then I'll be like, okay. Yeah. No, but I don't really promote myself because it is really just a hobby for me.
Mm.
So
Do you feel like very proud with your with your drawings? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but you know, sometimes like for me, like editing videos and stuff is a hobby, and whenever I unlock a new skill, no matter how basic it is, I'm like, wow, I did that. You know, do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that for the bigger artworks or like the stuff that just takes me a long time. You know, if I set out to draw something and it takes me a long time, and then I get it done, and then you can just see the finished product in your hands. I mean, I definitely feel that most with animation because like it's so time consuming, and I don't have like any post software or anything, so it was just like drawing each frame, and that took like weeks. And it's not like a very good animation, but like seeing every single frame that you draw like put together into like a moving picture.
Nice.
Like, it's cool. It's just cool.
What do you use for that? What program? What software?
Oh, I literally just like went on the App Store and searched up 2D animation. It's
really?
Like a kids thing where you can. It's. I think it was like a stick figure animation thing.
Okay. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so, because you know, I'm the kind of person, and I always say this, that I just like to create things and explore things, and you know, sometimes it's a little overwhelming because I'll be doing something and then I see something and I'm like, oh my God, I should be doing this. Like, why am I not doing this right now? Like, I should learn this. Like, why am I not learning that? You know, and that happens to me, especially with anything that has to do with like creativity, right? So I recently downloaded Procreate.
Oh yeah.
I downloaded Procreate on my iPad, and I just started like messing around with the brushes and stuff. And I see that they have animations because you know, I was trying to explore into animation and, you know, what can I do? Or like, is this really that hard? Of course, like everything has a certain skill level and like skill ceiling. But I was wondering with animation, I just wanted to try it out. But I never really actually, I mean, I downloaded it. It's still on my iPad, but I actually haven't got to sit down and really explore the animation. But I do see some tutorials on YouTube and stuff. I wonder, do you ever, like, do you always learn on your own, or do you watch? Do you get tips from someone? Do you watch YouTube videos for any tips or something?
I mean, I've only like done like 3 very, very, very short animations. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna download like a actual proper animation thing, and then I would search up YouTube tutorials. This was like back in high school, and then it just got so confusing. And then, so now I'm like, if I want to make an animation, I'm just gonna download a kid's app, because it's just like animation, but the most basic form. You're just putting like different drawings,
Nice.
like after each other, very fast.
Yeah, it's like each frame, and yeah, like each drawing is a frame, right?
Yeah,
And
I don't
then
know
you
if
just
I
put
could
it
do like
together.
the super complicated stuff.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, art is art and it's subjective, and I'm sure there's always someone who is going to like something that you do, right? So I feel like with art, you just put it out there, and as long as it makes you happy, you're going to find someone who will make that art happy too. You know, like it always happens. It's always better. I feel like with art and with anything in life, I feel like it's always better to get a reaction, whether it is good or bad, than to just being ignored. Because like when someone ignores you, that is like they really do not care. If you post something on social media, or like if you show something to someone and they show a reaction, no matter whether it is good or bad, at least they care about it, you know, because like they're reacting to something that you're showing them. If they ignore it completely, then that's the problem, I feel like. I don't know if you agree with me, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't upload a lot of my art on Instagram for a long time, just because I was like, I don't want my stuff to be judged. Because I'm just like making it for myself, unless it's like an actual physical piece of art that I'm giving to like a friend. And then there was a time when I uploaded stuff and I would like delete it immediately, like if it didn't get like a certain amount of attention within it. I don't know, it just like put me in a bad headspace. But now I'm just like, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just like a little collection of my stuff. I don't check it regularly.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like with social media and when you're putting out your stuff, you just have to block yourself from everybody else and you just do it for you and you just put it out there. And eventually people will discover and you will find the right people who will connect with your art.
Yeah.
And yeah, it happens to me with like social media. I like to, I post like some like funny or any kinds of videos related to cello in my socials. And sometimes I create a video and I think it's gonna do really well, but then it just doesn't get as many views as I thought. And then that just puts me in a space, and then I'm like, okay, Isma, relax, it's all good. You're just doing it for yourself. If some people will like, nobody has to like your stuff. Just do it for yourself and just keep doing you. Because the moment you start thinking about what people think and whether people care about your stuff, then that's the moment where you start losing your own self.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I'm wondering, in terms of style, like drawing style, animation style. I guess animation we kind of figured out because you had this like kids app and you're like, okay, this is like my toolbox, so this is all I can do for now. But in terms of like drawing, I feel like there is so much, so many styles, so many ways of drawing or like painting. Where do you get your style from, or like where do you get your inspiration, or why do you draw the way you draw?
That's funny that you asked that, because I feel like a lot of the anxiety about posting on Instagram, I was like, I don't even have a clear style yet. And then once I stopped caring about having like a specific style, because like if you go on Instagram, you search up like top artists and stuff, they all have their like niche and everything. Like it doesn't look the same, but like it has, like you can tell who like drew it. And I feel like I was always like, oh, this feels like it's not going with a certain style or aesthetic. So now I'm like, whatever. If I feel like drawing something in a specific style, then that's my style.
Nice.
It changes all the time. As for coming up with ideas, that's why walking's great. You'll just see something, like you'll see a piece of trash on the on the side, and then it reminds you of like a experience or like a memory, and then your brain just connects random dots. I feel like that's just like ideas, connecting random dots, and being like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if this was this? I don't know.
I feel like we're always looking for inspiration without looking for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least for me, when I'm about to go to sleep, all the great ideas come.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to go to sleep, like, I'm ready to sleep, and then I start thinking about all these ideas, and then I need to pull out my phone and, like, make some notes, because I feel like it's in those moments of peace that you're, like, with your own self that you start discovering a lot of things about what you want to express to the world, right? Walking I should do more walking, definitely. I should do more walking, especially in in nature and in areas where it's very peaceful. We're always looking for sounds, right? Whenever at least for me, whenever I'm in the car or whenever I'm somewhere, I'm always like looking for sound. But what if we just enjoyed the pure silence? I don't know if there's absolute silence anywhere, but just going to a place in which it's only you with your thoughts, or as least noise or sound as possible. I feel like that is definitely a very powerful experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that where you're in a place where it's like completely, or as silent as possible?
Yeah, I mean, actually coming to LA, people tell me like don't walk around with earbuds in, because you need to always like keep your head on a swivel. And then so I would always usually wear earbuds back in New Zealand. And then I stopped doing that, and I realized that I can actually think more, because like when you without music, it kind of brings you into the present moment.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned that a lot of the ideas come to you at nighttime, and I think that was the case for me too. But once I like had this like 50 minutes of walking every day, like to and from school, that's like 50 minutes that those ideas can come to me. So it's not like I get all these ideas now when I'm like about to sleep, because you know, you give yourself enough time to have those ideas come to you. I think that's good. Yeah. I mean, like if you look at like big composers like Brahms, and I don't know, they all took walks in nature to have ideas come to them. So I think it's just like good to give your brain a little quiet. Yeah.
I love what you said about being in the present moment. I feel like we're always, this is crazy to me, but I feel like we're always either thinking about the future or the past. We're never in the present. Let's say right now, or let's say you're walking, you're thinking about probably, let's say you're going home, right? You're walking right now, but you're thinking about what you're gonna eat for dinner, or you're thinking about like, oh, I need to practice this, I need to practice that, or maybe you're thinking of what you told your friend that might have hurt them, you know, stuff like that. We're never really, or we're rarely ever in the present moment, and I feel like being on the present, it's so important, because the present is like, we don't really know what's going to happen in the future, and what happens in the past, it already happened. Like, you cannot change the past, right? So the present is actually the most valuable thing that we have, and like what we can act on, right? So I like to bring this into, you know, back into music when we're going into performance. Let's say we have a concert and we're going to play, we're worried about like how last night that passage wasn't so good, like, and we're wondering like, are we gonna play well tonight? Or instead of actually enjoying the moment of getting the opportunity of playing for so many people, you know, getting so many people's attentions to listen to your music, which it's so underrated. You know, sometimes we take performances for granted, and you know, it's actually really hard to get a lot of people together in a room to listen to someone play music. And also, like, thinking about that, you know, let's say you have a room with like 50 people, right? That's incredible. You know, that's incredible. And then we go back to social media and we post a video, and then we get 50 views, and then we're like, oh, so little. Yeah. Imagine if you had 50 people's attention to, in presence, like in real life, in person, to listen to you, to listen to what you have to say, to listen to what you have to express. That's just so valuable. And I feel like we take a lot of these things for granted, you know, having people's attention, or like concert opportunities. Yeah, I don't know. I think about that often, and yeah, these are stuff that I need to constantly remind myself as well, because it's very easy to fall into that negative space that it just does damage to you and yourself. I don't know. I feel like we've talked about so many things. We came from music to art to walking to everything, and yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit, just like that deep dive a little bit about more of like music and art. Do you have any favorite composers?
I feel like it changes all the time. Probably Brahms and Hindemith.
Brahms?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves Brahms, of course.
Yeah. You know, actually, some people don't. Some people think that Brahms is boring.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
So basic. They're like, Brahms the basic composer.
Yeah, I think he's great.
Yeah, I love him too.
Yeah. I like British composers.
Okay.
I can't pick one, but there's a lot of good British viola music. Yeah. Anyone who writes well for viola, I like.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hindemith and all that?
Yeah, Hindemith.
Okay, nice. Bartok?
I'm playing Bartok Viola Concerto right now.
How is that treating you?
It's Bartok, but like, I mean, he passed away, and then his student put it together, so it's kind of like Bartok with asterisks. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Nice. So, what about for art, for paintings? Like, do you have any artists that you admire or anything, or someone that you follow or that inspires you? Not that you have to copy their style, but but just like someone who...
don't really. I mean, I don't go on Instagram that much
Mm-hmm.
for art.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll see a lot of cute stuff on my explore page, and there are certain artists that I can't remember. I don't know, I just like their style. But I don't know, it just feels like a very personal thing where I'm just like, let me draw what's coming out of my head. In high school it was like I was more influenced by other people's art styles, and I would like occasionally watch tutorials and stuff, and yeah, but nowadays no, I just do what I want.
Nice. That's what we want. That's the ultimate goal. What do you enjoy drawing more? Is there anything in particular that you really love to know? Like when you don't have, well, I guess like if you don't have, if you don't want to draw, you just don't draw, right? But let's say like, I don't know, something you feel the need to draw something quick and easy. What is your go-to?
I don't think there's a go-to. It's like, yeah, if something
anything,
comes to me,
whatever, yeah.
if I'm walking and I'm like, oh, it'll be funny if I drew this, then I'll write it down in my notes app, and I'll either forget about that note forever or I'll like draw it immediately. I don't know. It's just funny to draw like animals.
I see. Nice. Animals are
Animals
cool.
doing like
Cute.
stupid things.
I love that.
I don't know. I don't think I have a go-to. One thing I won't do is I don't do like any like realistic stuff.
Okay.
I don't think I have the foundation for it, and I don't particularly enjoy drawing.
Maybe that's
that.
your style, you know, just being so creative and imaginative and like, you know, just putting out there anything that's in your head, however it is, you know.
I like enjoy an art style where it's like, it's kind of like childish, like a kid could draw it, but not really. Like it's like messy lines, but still put together.
Have you ever thought of making a storybook or something?
Yeah, I've thought about it. What's
stopping you?
Time, and also I don't feel like doing that right now.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
yeah, no, I like that children's book style. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the best underrated forms of storytelling.
Yeah.
Children's books. Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself combining music with painting? And if so, how has one influenced the other one?
They're really interconnected, and I could go on about that, but like with my recitals in undergrad, I'd always make like a program with drawings, and there've been times in the past where if I'm learning a piece of music, like I did this with Hinema Opus 25-1, it felt like a very visceral piece, and so I'll draw and color in within like on the actual page as like a reminder in the performance, like, oh, I should like depict this scene. But yeah, they're super connected. Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any drawings or paintings that you feel, or one painting, or can you show one painting that it really brings the best out of you, or like, I don't know, or something that you really feel proud of, or I don't know, if someone is like, oh, can you show me one of your works, which one would be the one that you would show?
Let me check. It's quite big. Usually I do very tiny little doodles. I feel like I work best when it's a tiny space.
Oh my god, wait, this is incredible. I feel like this is one of my favorite too.
Oh.
Can you see? I mean, it's kind of tiny here, but...
No, but it's kind of like this big, and for me, this size is big because usually I work very small. And so just like having to commit to it, and if you swipe through, like it's my viola that I drew, and then I added little things to it, but it just took a lot of time.
This is so fascinating to me because there's so much detail in this painting and so much imagination. Like I feel like your work just has so much detail and imagination, and it's way deeper than just surface level. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
thank you.
I could spend hours, days looking at this painting and just discovering something new every time.
Yeah.
Do you mind explaining something a little bit about it? Or I mean, I guess you just explained that it's your viola and you added little things. But what are those little things, and why did you add them, or what? I don't know. What was the inspiration behind that?
It's hard to tell. I mean, this was like 2022, and it was during the summer, so I had extra time, and I guess I don't know why I even thought about it. I just looked at my viola and I was like, huh, looks funny.
So you said this was during the summer,
Yeah, it was during the summer holidays. So
like this
back
summer, or
home, back home. Yeah, it was like 2022.
oh,
So I
okay.
was back,
Ah,
yeah.
I see.
And I don't know, just putting something that is so part of my life, like my viola, into like a random setting.
They're walking on the strings, right?
Yeah.
And did you? It's just so crazy to me. Did you think specific strings in which they were walking on, or it's just like random?
No,
Maybe
it's
I'm
just
just
random. Like just the viola as like
Mhm.
being not small, but like being big.
Very
Like
nice.
a thing for.
And I love like the little boats with like all
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I thought about that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't control what I think.
Wow. I guess that's fair. Well, also you draw this too. So this is actually the slogan of ismacello apparel, and I commissioned this from you. And when I received it, I had no words. I mean, it's just so on point. Like I don't know. Do you have? I don't know. How long does this take you to make?
I don't know. I feel like it took. I don't know, including the thinking.
Yeah.
Actual doing, probably like 30-40 minutes.
Uh huh.
How did I come up with this? I mean, it was like the night. I think I told you it was like the night before I had to get it in.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just so incredible because we have you have the bow here, you have the color or like the marker for like just explaining different arts. You're reflecting different arts here, and then the world with the I don't know. Do you ever draw logos or like make logos or anything?
No.
Would you think that you will be good at it?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because I haven't done it. But I mean, it's all just about brainstorming, I think. I mean, I just had your slogan, and I was like, artist can be music and visual art as well in the world. O can be a little globe.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's all.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's incredible. Well, Cecile, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I mean, I know we have a few projects in the upcoming future, the near future. And I don't know, I'm just so glad that you're willing to go on this journey with me, just like, exploring art and just trying to bring something unique to life and that hopefully people will resonate with. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to have you here, and just thank you so much. I wanted, just before we end, I wanted to, just because you're the first one, and I feel like we're developing a special connection with your art and everything. I wanted to give you a present
Oh, thank you.
from ismacello apparel. So please
Oh, in the box.
enjoy your gift.
Okay, let me just move this.
I hope you like it.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Sorry.
Feel free to open it, please.
Oh, this is a really nice box.
Thank you.
Oh. And you got the tissue.
Yes.
Oh, I feel like I know what it is. Hey, I just complimented your cat. Yeah.
I hope you like that color.
Oh, it's a great color. It's a great color. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Wow, it's really well made as well.
Thank you, thank you. I hope
Sick.
you know, it's just a little, you know, I just wanted to thank you so much, just as I said, for everything you're doing for this brand, and you know, for my crazy ideas of, you know, trying to do everything everywhere all at once. And I'm just so happy that you're willing to put up with me. So
Oh no, of
thank you
course.
so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, so we'll be linking all the socials for Cecile. So make sure to follow her.
If you want.
And yeah, I mean, you'll hear her name a lot more in the future if you haven't yet. So just be on the lookout, and thank you so much for being here, for listening to us, for watching us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.